Welcome students in the second part of gerunds. In the previous class we understood the popular uses of gerunds, and before we understand some other uses of gerunds in this class, let me give you a recap. We understood that gerunds are having the force of a noun as well as a verb. That means they are partly verb and partly noun. So they can be used in some other ways also. So what are those uses? Let us understand. Firstly, they are used like compound gerunds. From the gerunds we make compound gerunds also. How compound gerunds are made? Compound gerunds are made by using past participle and the gerund of be and have. By using the gerund of be and have. Gerund of be and gerund of have. Okay. So what will be the gerund of be? It will be being. Gerund of be is being, and gerund of have, this is having. So here past compound gerund is formed by using the gerund of be and gerund of have. We can use either. We can either use gerund of be, we can either use gerund of have. Okay, it is up to us, and we have to use a past participle also. And we know that past participle is the third form of a verb. For example, having rested, they travelled forth. Having rested, they travelled forth. So having rested, what is having rested? This is the compound gerund. Another example, being tired, they went to bed. Being tired, they went to bed directly. Being tired, they went to bed directly. So how compound gerunds are made, how they are used, we have understood. So let's have a recap. If you want to write it, you can easily write. You are having enough time. So when I am just revising it for you, you can write in between. Compound gerunds, these are made by using past participle and gerund of be and have. What is the gerund of be and what is the gerund of have? The gerund of be is being and gerund of have is having. Having rested, they travelled forth. Having rested means after resting for a certain duration. Being tired means on account of tired, on account of very much tired, they went to bed directly. They directly went to bed. It simply gives us the idea that they have not eaten anything. Okay, they did not eat anything. They directly went to the bed. So hope you have understood what are compound gerunds. Now let us understand the next use of gerunds. Next use is of compound nouns. See some examples. Example: walking, stick, hunting, whip, frying pan, writing table, fencing stick. These are the examples of compound nouns, and these are made. How the compound nouns are written, you can see that the first part of each is a gerund, and the second part, this second one, it's a noun. So when we say walking stick, it simply means a stick that is used for walking. So what it means? A stick for walking. A whip. Whip means this is a strip of leather that is used for beating the animals. So a whip for hunting. A pan for frying. A table for writing. A stick for fencing. Students, do you know what is fencing? Fencing is a type of game in which two persons fight one to one, either with the stick or with a sword. They use a sword or they use a stick and they fight one to one. That is a game of fencing. So a stick for fencing. So I hope you have understood what are compound nouns and how they are made. Compound nouns are made by using gerund with a noun. So here you can see gerunds are used: walking, hunting, frying, writing, fencing. All these are gerunds, and these are used with the nouns: stick, whip, pan, table, stick. All these are nouns. So this was the use of compound nouns. I hope you have understood. Now let us see one more case where gerunds are used. of gerunds in possessive and objective case. Example, please don't mind my leaving the party early. Please don't mind me leaving the party. Here you see two examples. There is a difference in these two examples, but their meaning is the same. Grammatically both are correct. Grammatically both are correct and their meaning is the same. And you also know where we have used the gerund. Let us understand. Here my, and here it is me, and here we have used the gerund leaving. So my is in possessive case. Possessive means a sense of belongingness, a sense of belongingness, and me it is in objective case. Both are correct, both are grammatically correct, but what is more formal? Possessive case is more formal. Possessive case is more formal and less used. Possessive case is more formal and less used. That means this first one. This first one is less used. But this one is more commonly used. Please don't mind me leaving the party early. So objective case is frequently used. So this is another use that we have understood how gerunds are used in possessive and objective cases, and why possessive case is more formal and less used. So we have understood that it is less used, but it is grammatically correct. But you will not find its use in the practical life. Very few people use it. It has become formal, more formal, but objective case is more frequently used. So that is another use of gerunds. So I hope you have understood what we wanted to discuss in this topic of gerunds, and we have almost come to the end of the topic. And in the end of the topic, we want to understand once more what is the difference between a present participle and a gerund. So let us quickly understand. Present difference between present participle and gerund. just understand, present participle, it's a verbal adjective, and gerund, it's a verbal noun. Now see one example, and that will tell you the difference. Barking dogs seldom bite. Barking helps a dog to express its feelings. So here you can see barking helps a dog to express its feelings. Here barking is used as a noun. So obviously it's a gerund. And barking dog, here it is the adjective. This is the adjective. So it is clear, and here it is noun. Okay, and here it is adjective. So here it is present participle. What is this? Present participle. Here barking is present participle like an adjective. Okay, so I hope you have understood each and everything related to the gerunds, and now everything is very clear. And if you are understanding it, if there is any confusion, you may discuss it through the social media. You can discuss it, you can send your queries, and I hope you have enjoyed this class, and I have tried to include each important information that is there, so nothing of importance has been left. So it's very clear from my part that everything has been done that was important related to the gerunds. Now this class is almost over. I hope you like this, and you wait for the next such topics of grammar. So I am ending the class. You can share and subscribe by going to the description box, and you can send your comments also. So okay, thank you.